going out with you, right? And the guy felt great and all that. We know that young children, the ages of 6 months or younger, the boys follow moving objects with their eyes very nicely. The girls respond to faces much more. That's not a social phenomenon, that's a biochemical phenomenon. We've learned a lot about men's brains and women's brains in the last 10 or so years because of the new technologies we have to analyze it. When I was growing up in the 1960s, the big thing was that men and women were the same, and if you raise boys like girls, they'll all play with dolls, take away the guns, and don't have to have this male aggressiveness stuff. And that was the idea back then. It was the belief, not based upon science, but just a social idea. The science that has come out in the last 10 years or so is very clear that men's brains and women's brains are very different. Now, yes, we're all human beings, so we have a lot of things in common. But let's look at what the differences are. And the purpose of looking at the differences is that Barbara and I want each of you to realize that when you want your significant other to be more like you, it's just a little bit not based upon anything in science, anything in logic. It's just based upon you want to have someone more like you. But you're really attracted to the opposite sex because you don't want someone more like you. You want someone who's different than you. So I want to explain the differences for the purposes of you really getting that you married someone different from you, and don't try to change what's not changeable. We'll tell you what's changeable, and we're going to tell you now what's not changeable. So what's not changeable is a woman's brain is set up in a different way than a man's brain. A woman's brain is connected all over. A woman's brain has 10 times as much white matter. A man's brain has 6.5 times as much gray matter. So what that means, the white matter is the telephone lines that connect everything. The gray matter is analyzing the data and creating the data. So a man's brain is set up to have all this data information that doesn't necessarily communicate with other parts of your brain. So a man's brain has all these pieces that he could put into little compartments, and they're isolated from the other places. So how many great women chess players are there in history? None. Not because they couldn't be great chess players, because women don't want to be great chess players. You have to be kind of like a bizarre woman to be a great chess player, because a woman's brain is totally connected, all parts of her brain. A man can put a little compartment, here's this little game, I'm just going to stay here and just do this little game, and that's it. I don't care what's going on around me, I'm focused on this little game. But a man's brain is set up like that. So the woman's brain has language connected all over it. A man's brain has one half that's basically involved with language and logic, and the other half that's basically involved with intuition, art, and music, and they're separate parts of your brain. In a woman, you have those separate parts of your brain, but rich interconnections. The left and right hemisphere of a woman's brain has all this white matter connecting it. They're constantly talking to both sides. So when we analyze a woman's brain with PET scans and special scans to look at how the brain is active when you have a woman do certain tasks, the woman's brain verbally interfaces with both sides. Both sides light up. Both sides are active and functioning. When you talk to a woman, the whole brain is involved with the language and analyzing what you're saying. A man's brain, one half. just one half. And it's all this language and analytical stuff going on one side. The other side, not doing much. You get a man emotional, oh, he's using the other side now. He's really into his feelings, into music, into some other things. So for a man, you get a man, ask him how you're feeling. It's like, oh, wait a second now. I have to go on this long journey from my intellectual, logical side and go all the way over. There's only a few little, tiny little dirt roads over to the other side of the brain. And it takes a while to get there. And then once you get there, you have to sort of sit there. How am I feeling? What am I feeling? What? I don't know. What is it? Oh, yeah, I'm feeling something, but I don't know what to say about it because I have to go back to the other side to have a discussion about it. So men generally are not real capable of talking about their feelings easily. Women, they just go right into the feelings and thoughts, go back and forth because the whole thing is active.